We're back to talk about more Payday 3 beta news, everyone. I haven't got any food with me this time, but I have got extra information, as well as some opinions on how the beta's being handled. I want to talk a bit about that at the end of the video, because I want to know what you guys think. I've had quite a lot of mixed opinions so far about the second beta, and I'd be interested to know what you think, but we'll get to that in a bit, because, like I said, we've got news first. So, finally this morning, Payday's Twitter account actually tweeted about the beta. I don't know why they had to wait until today to do it, because Plyon were tweeting about it on several accounts yesterday. Payday were retweeting other people saying it, but not saying it themselves. It was very weird. But they did put up a tweet this morning at 9 AM saying, anyone up for the beta, there's going to be another one, and the whole goal is to get in and try and break the servers. And if you click this, it takes you to a Steam post, which is what we're going to start with. Then there's also an updated FAQ with a few more bits of information to clarify stuff. So, let's look at the Steam post first. As you might have heard already, we're doing a second technical beta, in other words, a server stress test. It's the same build as last time, so no new UI or heists for now. We want to ensure we have as few issues as possible ahead of our very imminent launch, so this test is meant to do just that. So between September 8th and 11th, we're running an open beta, and all you have to do is go to their store page and download the build and play. Now, it does say later you can't download it or anything like that or request access till the beta starts, so we'll get there in a second. Because it's a technical test, they want people who participate in the beta to all log in at set times over the weekend. You can play whenever, obviously, but they want you to log in if you can at 2 specific times to try and pressure the servers. I've just happened to check actually, folks, and the Steam post says a different time. So the Steam post says Sunday, September 10th at both 1 AM and 6 PM, whereas here it says Saturday at 1 AM Swedish time, midnight UK time, and then Sunday at 5 PM. So I think there's an error in the Steam post. I would assume Saturday and Sunday 2 different times to check the pressure. Starbreeze could do with clarifying that and making sure we know which date it is. I'm trusting the one on the website instead of Steam, because Steam could be a typo. There's a proper countdown here, so I would say assume the Saturday morning. And if you want to check the time zones, when you go to this website, it gives you automatic localized time zones. So I'll leave a link to this website in the description, so if you want to check your time zones, you can. So they want you to log in at those 2 specific times to get in, and they're saying basically we want you to try and help break the servers so they can make sure that it's better when the game actually launches. So that's the whole goal. They want to do this one extra beta so they can push the servers, which I don't know why they didn't do the first time. Again, we'll get there in a minute, but we have got an FAQ to go through. Now, some of these questions are the same as last time, some are updated, so I think it's a good idea for us to run through the answers, see what they say, and offer my thoughts if at all necessary. But you can see the countdown here. That's for the first slam, not for the beta opening. The beta opens on Friday, the 8th of September at 3 PM BST, that's UK time. I'll probably go live on YouTube or Twitch as soon as it kicks off, provided I can get into it, so stay tuned. I'll try and do a stream at some point for that. And then the beta ends on Monday the 11th at 9 in the morning UK time, so for the Americans it'll be overnight, so basically Sunday will be your last chance to play unless you don't want to sleep. You cannot request access this time around until it's available, so I actually hopped onto my Xbox to have a little peek and I couldn't see Payday 3 in the previews. I was a bit confused, I was wondering why it wasn't there. It's because you can't see it yet, it's not available. So once the beta starts you'll be able to get in then, but you can't get in ahead of time this time. On Steam it doesn't matter at all because it's just as many people as possible. For Xbox it will do. Let's get there. So, as they say, it's a technical test, they want to push things. Why are we running a second beta? We want to break the servers, we tested them last time, this time we want to break them. How do I know if I was given access to the beta? Here's the real kicker. Xbox is first come, first served, whereas via Steam you should see the game appear in your library shortly after requesting access. That suggests that the beta is not open on Xbox, it is closed yet again. Now, I don't know how many people got in an Xbox. I think a lot of people did manage to get in, but not everyone did, which suggests the same thing is happening again. And if that is the case, that might explain why PlayStation are still not getting a look in. Because I would have thought as an open beta, you could have put a store listing up on the Xbox store and the PlayStation store as a free download to let you play. That's how most open betas work. The fact that they aren't letting PlayStation players play and now saying Xbox is first come, first serve suggests that because they're using the same build, because it screams to a wider issue that I have with this beta, which is that it's the exact same build. Maybe they've literally not changed anything behind the scenes other than flicking a switch to open it forever on Steam. That could be all they've done, so that might explain why PlayStation won't get in, but again, I'll explain that in more detail later, but that I do think is interesting, so I really hope everyone who gets in on Xbox, or everyone who wants to get in, gets to get into the beta, but it doesn't seem like they'll be able to. We'll see. So if your friends get access, if you get access if your friend doesn't, you can invite them on Steam. It doesn't say anything for Xbox because you'd be screwed. Can you capture video, stream the beta? Yes, you can. If you want to report any feedback, bugs, and anything like that, there are places to do that. We've talked about that before. This is a slice of the full game containing only 1 heist and 4 heisters. because, again, it's the same as the last build. So you only get to level 22, and on top of that, progression will not carry over to the release version of the game. So anything you do in this beta will not carry over to the main game, so please keep that in mind. Does the quality of the technical beta represent the quality of the game at launch? No, because it is the exact same build. The build using the technical beta is from April this year, so expect a significant number of improvements in terms of performance, etc. when the game comes out. So, again, I've said this before, people were questioning it, going, was it really for April? It was. It was. It's a more antiquated version of what we played in June. It really is an old build now. I mean, now it's 5 months old, so it's the same one, nothing has changed. Don't expect any difference from the last time there was a beta. And just in case you're wondering, because it's the same build, Joy and Pearl, who have now been revealed, are not in this. Again, the HUD is going to be the old version, so you're going to see, if I can open both these images, you're going to see this old HUD, which I can't seem to zoom out of. Can I reset? There we go. You'll see this HUD as opposed to this one. This is the more modern HUD. This is the one you'll see in the beta. The new one, I think, is much better, bar maybe I still don't know about the pictures of the characters. I think they should have masks, really, but that's just my opinion. Will there be additional feature settings for launch? Yes. Will there be balance changes for launch? Yes. We talked about de novo before. How you join a party, there is a guide to do so. How do the unfamiliar levels work? We've talked about all that, and there will not be a tutorial. There are some known issues, and I think what these are basically Starbreeze saying, look, it's the same build. We've not fixed any of the issues because it's just an antiquated build that we're not going to address now because we've already moved on. So here are the problems that popped up last time that you may see happening this time. That's basically what this is. So matchmaking issues, that kind of thing, you may have problems. Whatever you had issues with in the first beta, you're probably going to have issues with it again, so please keep that in mind. There's also some bits about controls in here, but that is everything you need to know about the beta. So, what I want to do is just generally give some very brief thoughts on the execution of this myself, because I personally... I think this is a wasted opportunity. I don't think a second beta is a bad idea. I'm really glad they're letting people play it again, but the fact that it's the exact same build with just the bank heist is strange for a couple of reasons. First off, when they did the first beta, they said they wanted to test the servers. The whole idea was to push the servers and see what they could handle. But they didn't make the beta open. I was convinced when they announced that beta, they'd extend it by a couple of days and go, right, it's open. We've had a few people come in on closed access. We've invited hundreds of thousands of people. Now, we flick the switch, batter our servers. That would have made sense for that build, especially if you're going to do another beta where you don't change anything. Because the real kicker for me is, think about all the people who've played the more modern build at Gamescom, who got to play the bank and 99 boxes in a much more updated version of the game with an updated HUD as far as I know. Everything was much more up to date. Why isn't that build the one that's in the beta? Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't really understand how that works. And I think for people who played at Gamescom, it's going to be one hell of a case of whiplash if they play that, then go to the beta, and then in less than 2 weeks, if you pre-order the game, you'll be playing the more modern version. It feels like a really weird bounce around, and I don't fully understand the logic behind this decision. I really, really don't. I think if you're going to keep the same build, you should have just opened the last one for a few more days and made it public. I don't get it. I also think calling it an open beta when Xbox clearly are not going to be open beta and PlayStation haven't even got in is a bit of a stretch of the term. It's a Steam open beta, you could say that, but generally, it's not an open beta. It just isn't. It realistically, it isn't. But I do want to talk about PlayStation a bit because most of the comments I got on yesterday's video, as I expected, were, why a PlayStation game left behind? Is this console problem starting all over again? No. I will defend Starbreeze on this one because when Payday 3 comes out, everything is going to be connected, right? The full game is going to release, and it's going to be the same version on PlayStation, Xbox, and Steam. If you update Payday 3, you're updating it for all 3 platforms. So if there was any problem with a specific version, the other ones would have to wait and suffer until that problem is fixed. Because you can't release content on one version and not on the others, because it would break the whole thing of playing with crossplay and your progress transferring between platforms. None of that would work. So there is no way the PlayStation, when the game comes out, are going to get a worse version compared to Xbox or PC or any other version of that combination. That won't happen. It just won't. The problem is, because they've seemed to have kept the same beta model, I talked about this before in some live streams, it was never officially confirmed by Starbreeze. However, PlayStation doesn't have an insider program in the same sense that Xbox does, where any user can download it and sign up to specific betas. That's not how it works. There's obviously testing mechanisms within the PlayStation, but they're not publicly accessible in the way that Xbox's system is. So it seems like for me, when they did the first beta, it was easier for Starbreeze to just go, right, we'll let a set number of Xbox people get in, they can pick it, log in, close beta, let them play. And because they didn't have that option on PlayStation, the beta wasn't available to PlayStation players. It sucks, it's stupid, but it seems like that's what ended up happening because it wasn't open. They couldn't just put it on the PlayStation Store. Fine, whatever. But now they've reused the same build and called it open, it just makes PlayStation players feel left out, and I really don't blame you guys. It sucks that now there's 2 betas where you guys have to sit on the outside. I think it's a real shame that that's happened. I think it's a wasted opportunity. I think if they were going to do another beta, they should have either just made it open on all the stores, or at least given something a bit fresh. In fact, in one way, I'm glad that if PlayStation players don't get to get in, they're not missing out on anything different to the last beta, because it is the same build. But to me, it screams as though they've decided, right, let's do an extra beta, let's really push the service and see what they can do. But on consoles, whenever you release stuff, you have to get things approved by Sony and Microsoft. On Steam, you can just flick a switch and Valve will go, that's fine, whatever, maybe a bit of approval time, but Sony and Microsoft are a lot more finicky to work around. So because maybe they've decided this a bit more impromptu, they've just gone, let's put the same build out, keep it as it was, but on Steam, we can at least open it up there. So that's what it feels like to me. I could be entirely wrong. It's just kind of what I've picked up from knowing how consoles and PC work over the years. It just seems that might be what's happened here, so who knows. I don't think it was done maliciously, I really don't. I think it's just the way that they've worked it and planned the beta out has not been the best, and there's been consequences as a result of that. That's what it feels like to me anyway. Not to mention, I do think using this image for the technical open beta, which is from a heist that isn't in the build, is a choice, I'll say that much. I don't think it was the best choice, but whatever. I don't even know if I'm going to be playing the beta non-stop all weekend, because it is just the same beta. I played a good bit of it, but I kind of just want to wait for the full game now anyway, because I don't want to play an antiquated version 2 weeks before launch that much. I'll do a few streams, don't get me wrong, I just don't think I'll be playing it too much casually beyond that, because it is just the one bank heist again. I've been talking about it a lot over the last 24 hours with people in my Discord server, which you can join, link in the description, by the way, and it seems like the general consensus is most people probably aren't going to be playing it as much this time, which also doesn't help with their whole little stress test push thing, telling everyone to play at a certain time. I don't know if everyone's going to want to play the beta again, because it's the same build. People do seem a bit disappointed by that, and I don't blame them, so hopefully they get what they want out of this, because for me, like I said, I'd have just made it open at the end of the last beta. It would have made so much more sense, and I really don't know why they didn't do that, but I don't work for Starbreeze, I don't make the decisions, we just have to go along with them. Ours is not to question why, as the saying goes. But ladies and gentlemen, that is everything you need to know about the Payday 3 beta with extra information now. So, Steam, it's completely open, you can request access as soon as 3 o'clock UK time on Friday hits. On Xbox, at that time, get into the Xbox Insider Hub, go and sign up for it and see if you get into the beta. And PlayStation players, I feel for you, I really do. But on the bright side, even if you haven't pre-ordered Payday 3, by the time the beta kicks off, it will be 2 weeks till you can get your hands on the full game. And if you pre-ordered, even less time. So at least you're not being left out in the lurch for too long. And again, at least it's not an even more updated version. If you were missing out on 99 boxes, I'd be even more annoyed. Like right now, I'm just like, this is stupid. It would be a genuine issue if you're missing out on more content. So I think in terms of missing out, it's not the worst it could be. But regardless, like I said, I will be streaming the beta at some point. I'll probably do a YouTube and a Twitch stream on Friday. We'll see. Probably do what I did last time. So as soon as I can get on for the beta on Friday, I'll try and do a live stream, fingers crossed. I literally just checked my schedule. Yeah, I've got nothing happening on Friday. So I will do that stream when the beta kicks off, and then I'll do one on Twitch later that night. So stay tuned for that. But either way, I'll leave this video here. Thank you all very, very much for watching. If you've enjoyed, please give a thumbs up on the video and click subscribe if you are new. Payday 3 is just 2 weeks away now. If you want to stay in touch with all upcoming news for all platforms on Payday 3, whether you're on PC, Xbox, or PlayStation, I'm your guy. I'll see you all very soon with some new information, some new news, and some new Payday 3 discussions. Until then, look after yourselves, stay safe, and I will see you all in the next video.